Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a pair of earrings today. Well, I'm going to make one. I've already made one. And I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the most recent Potomac Beads Treasure Edition subscription box. It was called Petal Palette. And I'll leave a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you didn't get to see it and you decide you want to watch it. And I'll leave a link in the description box below that will take you to the Potomac Beads, the page on the Potomac Beads website that tells you about the subscriptions. They have a kit edition and a treasure edition, and I get the treasure edition. But that page will tell you all about both subscriptions and what the pricing is and everything, and you can sign up from there if you decide you want to do that. I did a video the other day, a finished jewelry video, and I showed these earrings here that I made. It's just a base of right angle weave, and then it's embellished in this case with 4mm fire polish beads. And then I hung a little leaf off the bottom there as a dangle. And I had several of you ask that I do a video showing how I made these, so that's what I'm going to do today. You can embellish these with anything 4mm. It doesn't have to be fire polish beads. These are the Potomac crystal round beads, amethyst, that came in the subscription box this time that I'm going to be using today, that I use for this earring here. That's the one I'm going to make the mate to, this one. And like I said, I'm using these beads that came in the subscription box this time. And then for the drop, I have these Potomac Crystal Teardrops Smoky Topaz AB 6x8mm. These are just some I had bought a while back and just hadn't used all of them. And that's what I'm going to use for my drop. And I've got my Durcoat Galvanized Champagne 11/0s and my Durcoat Galvanized Champagne 15/0s that I'm going to be using. And I've got a Wire Guardian in here and then a fishhook ear wire that I'm going to use. And I've got my size 11 tulip beading needle. And I've got my 6-pound fire line. I'm going to use that instead of my 8-pound. I usually always use 8-pound, but I'm going to be going through these beads a lot, and it's hard to get through them with the 8-pound, so I'm going to be using the 6-pound in smoke. And, of course, I've got my scissors to cut my fire line with. And then I'm going to use my pliers to put my ear hook on when I get them made. And I think that's pretty much it. This just takes about 3 feet of thread for each earring, so it's not like I'll have to be adding thread or anything to this. So hold on, let me get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to start out by making my base of right angle weave here, and this is going to be multiple rows of right angle weave. And I've got 8 of my 11/0s on my thread here, and I don't have a stop bead because I'm going to go ahead and tie these into a knot. I don't usually tie knots when I do bead weaving because the knots get in my way, but it's easier to do that on something like this, something small like this, and that way I can get the tail out of the way right away. So I'm going to just tie a square knot. I'm going to tie it one way and then tie it the other way. Make sure my knot goes down in between my beads and not on top of my beads. Now I'm going to sew through, I'm going to get away from my knot, so I'm going to sew through 2 of my beads. I'm going to sew through them 2 at a time because my little boxes are going to have 2 beads on each side. So that's my first little box. Now I'm going to cut my thread down, almost completely down, but not entirely. I'll leave a little bit there. And I forgot to mention my thread burner. I'm going to use my thread burner here, and I'm going to melt this little bit that I've left down so that it'll form a little blob there and be less likely to come apart. Now I'm going to make my next little box. Now that's my first box. I've got 2 beads on each side, 2 beads on top, 2 beads on the bottom, and 2 beads on each side. Now for my next box, I need a total of 8, but I've already got 2 here, so I'm going to pick up 6. Coming out the bottom of these 2 beads, I'm going to go in the top. Now I'm going to go around. I'm not going to reinforce all of these units because I have to go through these beads a lot, and the more thread I put through them, it's going to be harder to get through them. But I'm going to reinforce some. So I'm going to reinforce this unit here. I'm going to go around 2 at a time so you can better see the box. So I'm going to sew around here until I'm coming out the 2 beads opposite this box. I know it's not real easy to see, but this is try to get it in here with my needle and show you my box. That's my box there. I've got 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, and 2 on each side. And I need to make another box, so I'm going to pick up 6 more. And I'm coming out the top of these 2. I'm going to go on the bottom. That's my next box. So now I need to sew around to this side over here because I'm going to make a total of 9 boxes. And I'm going to make 3, 3, and 3. So I need to make 3 next to these 3. So I'm going to sew. I'm going to 2 at a time. Actually, I think I went through 3 that time. No, that was 2. Now I'm going to go through these 2. And I'm going to go up these 2. So that's this box. Got 2 down here, 2 on each side. Now I'm going to make a box next to this box, so I need 6 more. Coming out the top of these 2 11 O's, I'm going to go on the bottom. I'm going to sew through these 2. I'm going to go ahead and sew around this unit again to reinforce it, shape it up a little better. And I always have to sew at right angles when I'm doing right angle weave. Got caught around my whole entire piece here. Okay, now I need to make a box on top of this box and next to this box. So I've already got 4 of the 8 beads I need. I've got these 2 for the bottom of my box and these 2 for the side of my box. So I just need 4 more. So I'll pick up 4 more. And to make my box, I need to go into these two. That makes that box. Now I'm going to sew through these two on the bottom here. I need to get up here to make a box next to this box on the top. So I'm going to sew up these two. Sew across these two. Now I'm gonna go ahead and sew around this box too, because it's going to be hard for you to see that it's a box if I don't. Just going to sew around them two at a time. Okay, now I need to make a box next to this box and on top of this box. So I need to go up these two so I can get in position to add my next beads. Now I've already got 4 of my beads. I've got this side and the bottom. I just need my top and my other side, so I need 4 more. And I need to go into these two down here to make my box. Now I need to make three boxes on this side of these 3 boxes, so I need to be coming out these 2 beads right here to make my next box. So I'm going to go up these 2 beads, across the top here, down these 2 beads on the side. Now I need to make my next box. I've got 2 of my beads, I just need to pick up 6. Make sure that's 6, yeah. Now I'm coming out the bottom of these 2. I'm going to go on the top. That makes my next box. Now to make the box down here, I need to be coming back out these 2 here. So I'm going to sew around this whole thing. I mean, I could just sew straight down in there, but this would be really loose and it would be hard for you to see that it's a box. So I'm going to go up these 2. Go across these 2. Go down these 2. Go across these 2. Now I need to make a box next to this one on top of this one. I've already got 4 of my beads. I've got these 2 for my side and these 2 I'm coming out of for my bottom. I need to sew up into these to get in position to add my next beads. I've already got 4 of them. I only need 4 more, so I'm going to pick up 4 more. And I need to go into these 2 to make my next box. And then I need to go up into these 2. I need to come across the top of this box. So I need to come across these two. Now I just need one more box and I'll be done. So I've already got my bottom and these two for my side, so I need 4 more. So I'll pick up 4. And I'm coming out here. I need to go into here to make my box. I need to go in these two here. Now I'm going to sew around here, 2 at a time, always sewing at right angles. Sew up these two, sew across these two. I'm going to go ahead and sew around this one again just to get it a little bit more established as a box. Okay, so there's my 9 boxes. I know they don't all look like very good boxes, but they're going to shape up when we put our back on, or our little 4mm beads on here. So hold on, let me get my 4mm beads and I'll be back. Okay, I've got my 4mm beads here and I've got my 15-ohs. I'm coming out these 2 beads right here. I need to be coming out the top, either this top or the top of this one down here. It's easier for me, I've discovered, if I'm coming out the outside. So if I go up here, if I sew across these 2 and up these 2 and this 2, I'll be coming out of the inside. But it's easier for me if I'm coming out of the outside. So I'm gonna sew through these 2. And down these 2. Across these 2. You always have to sew at right angles. Down these 2. And across these 2. And that way I'm coming out the outside here, which is easier for me. So now I'm going to pick up a 15-0, a 4mm, and a 15-0. I'm coming out these 2 11-ohs here. I'm going to go on the diagonal and go in these 2 11-ohs and pull my little 4mm over the top there. Now I'm going to do that again. 15-0, 4mm, I'm coming out this side of those 2. I'm going to go in. I'm going to go diagonally and go in these 2. Make sure my 4mm falls over top of that little box there. Now I'm just going to do that again. I'm going to pick up a 15-0 and a 4mm and a 15-0. I'm coming out this side of these 2. I'm going to go down here diagonally and go in these 2. Make sure my 4mm falls over top of my box there. I'm gonna pull it tight because I want my embellishments that you can't see because I keep dropping them. I want them to be good and tight in there. I don't want them to be flopping around. So I got those. Now I need to get over here to this box to put my 4mm on here. So I'm going to sew around. I'm going to flip it over to the back here so I can see better. I'm going to go down these two. Go across these two. Thread keeps trying to get tangled, and I don't really have much thread on my needle. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Now I got to figure out how I want to do this, because I'm going to go ahead and go up these two and come across these two. Okay, now I want my beads to be angled in the same way, but they're going to be, because I'm going to pick up a 15-0, a 4mm, and a 15-0, and I'm going to go from this side of these two 11-0s diagonally across the bottom, through the two at the bottom there. I keep my thread pulled tight so that my embellishments don't get loose. Now I'm going to pick up another 15-0, a 4mm, and a 15-0. And I'm going to go from this side of these two into this side of these two. Make sure the embellishment falls on top of the box there. Keep good tight tension on it. Now I'm going to pick up another 15-0, 4mm, and a 15-0. Coming out this side of these two, I'm going to go down here diagonally and go into this side of these two. Pull my thread through, make sure my 4mm lands on top of the box there, pull and keep good tension on it. Now I've got to get around here so that I can put my embellishments on this row. If I sew down through these two, which is what I'm going to do, and I sew across these two, if I sew up these two and over here, when I put my embellishments on, I'm going to be going this way. I'm going to be pulling toward the inside of my piece, and that's awkward for me. So instead, I'm going to sew up here to this one. I'm going to sew up these two. Sew across these two. Sew down these two. And sew across these two. Now when I put my embellishments on, I'll be sewing outward. If I'm sewing toward the beads, it's harder to do it. So now I'm going to pick up a 15-0, a 4mm, and a 15-0. And I'm going to go from this side of these two diagonally across through this side of these two. Pull my 4mm down. I'm going to do that again. 15-0, 4mm, 15-0. Coming out this side of these two, I'm going to go down here diagonally and go into this side of these two. I'm going to pick up a 15-0, 4mm, 15-0. Coming out this side of these two, I'm going to go down here diagonally, go into this side of these two. Just make sure you don't get caught around any of the 4mm you've already got on there, and that you keep good tight tension so that they don't get loose. Now I'm going to embellish this side, and this side can be awkward because you've already got the beads on the other side that kind of get in your way. But I'm going to pick up a 15-0, 4mm, and a 15-0. Coming out this side of my two at the top, I'm going to go diagonally into these two at the bottom. Pull my 4mm on top there. Pull it good and tight. Now I'm going to pick up a 15-0, 4mm, and a 15-0. Coming out this side of the two at the top, I'm going to go diagonally into the two at the bottom of this little box. I'm going to pick up a 15-0, a 4mm, and a 15-0. Coming out this side of these two, I'm going to go down here and go into the diagonally into these two on the bottom here. Now I need to sew over here so I'm coming out the middle so I can embellish these in the middle. And this can be kind of hard because I have to go down these two. And I have to go across these two in between these two 4mm beads that I've already got on. So I kind of have to pull them back here a little bit and look and find those two and go through them. And I don't want to loosen my embellishment there, so got to be careful when I do that. Now I'm going to go up these two. I'm going to go across these two. Now I'm going to put on the ones down the center here. So I'm going to pick up a 15-0, a 4mm, and a 15-0. Coming out this side of these two, I'm going to go diagonally into these two. And I thought I had counted out enough beads, but apparently I missed one because I need one more of these beads. Oh no, there they are. I don't know. It must have been stuck to my hand or something. I don't know. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to pick up a 15-0, 4mm, and a 15-0. Coming out this side of this little box in the center, I'm going to go diagonally into the bottom of this box. Now I'm going to pick up a 15-0, 4mm, and a 15-0. I'm going to go diagonally down here to the bottom of this box. Make sure it lands over top of the little box there. Okay, now I'm going to sew down these 2 beads here. Trying to figure out which way I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to sew till I'm coming out down here, because that way I'll be pulling out instead of toward the inside. So I'm going to go across these 2. Down these 2. Across these 2. Up these 2. Across these 2 on the top here. Now I'm going to pick up a 15-0, 4mm, and a 15-0. I'm going to go diagonally into these 2, the bottom of this box here. Pick up a 15-0, 4mm, and a 15-0. Go diagonally down into the bottom of this box. And pick up a 15-0, 4mm, and a 15-0. Go diagonally down here to the bottom of this box. Turn it around here to get a good angle on it so I can get through it. So I'm going to go through these 2 down here. So now I've got my embellishments on both sides there. Now I'm going to go up through these 2 here. I'm going to put an 11-0 in all. That my embellishment came out. I guess I went back through 2 that I shouldn't have went back through. Okay, instead of going through these 2, I need to come down through these 2. Okay, now I'm going to pick up an 11-0, and I'm going to put it in this little hole here between these 2, between this set of 2 and this set of 2. I'm going to put 11-0s in here and fill in these little gaps. Plus it kind of helps sturdy up your piece if you do this. So I'll pick up an 11-0, go into these 2. Pick up an 11-0, go into these 2. Just going to do this all the way around. Pick up an 11-0, go into these 2. 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 Pick up an 11-0, go into these two, pick up an 11-0, go into these two, pick up an 11-0, go into these two. This is my last one. I'm going to put this 11-0 in this corner here, and then I'm going to sew up through all these beads on the side here until I'm coming out that one on the bottom. Now I'm going to put my drop on. So I'm going to pick up two 15-0s and 11-0. My drop from the skinny side. Pick up another 15-0. I'll drop it down. I'm going to go around it. I'm not going to go through it because that's going to keep my thread from pulling through. And I'm going to go back through that 11-0 at the top of my drop. Pull my thread through. Pick up two more 15-0s. And I'm going to go on the other side of this 11-0 that I came out of. I'll pull this through and not get hooked around my drop. Now I'm going to go around that one more time. I'm going to go down these two 15-0s, down into this 11-0 and my drop. Come back into this 15-0 down here, back up through my drop. A needle in there. There we go. Back up into that 11-0 that's at the top of my drop. Back up the two 15-0s on the other side. And then back into this 11-0. Gets my little drop on there. Now I'm going to sew up to this tip so I can put on my wire guardian. I'm going to sew through all these on this side, all these 11-0s. And you don't have to get through them all at once. It's kind of easier if you can, but you don't have to. If you have to just go through a few at a time, which it looks like is what I'm going to have to do. Go through the rest of them. I'm going to try to get up through all these. I got them through all of them but one. Now I'm going to come out this one on the tip here. Now I'm going to get my wire guardian and I'm going to squish it in as much as I can. I'm just going to sew it straight on here. I'm going to go up one channel of my wire guardian. Go down the other channel. Hold my finger over the wire guardian so the thread lands in the channel. Now I'm going to go in the other side of that 11-0 that I started in. I'm going to go back around my wire guardian. Back down the other channel. Hold on to it so the thread lands in the channel. Go back around my 11-0. I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to go up the wire guardian. Back down the other channel. Hold on to the wire guardian. Go back into the 11-0. Now I'm going to sew down through here and make a few half-inch knots. My thread had got tangled around there and I didn't know it. It's just a miracle I was able to pull it through. I'm going to go down through here. Go under my thread bridge here. Go through my loop. Pull the thread down slowly. Go through a couple more beads. Go under this thread bridge. Go through my loop. Pull my thread down slowly. Go through a couple more beads. Go into this thread bridge. Through the loop. Pull my thread down slowly. Go through another couple beads. I'm going to cut off my thread. There's my little earring. Now I'm just going to put my ear wire on here. So there's my earring. It matches this earring. So now I've got another one here because the ones that I showed y'all the other day had this leaf on it and it's a top drilled leaf. It's just a little bit different way of putting it on than this one I just did. And I've got another one here that I've got almost all done except I've got it all done except for putting the leaf on the bottom, and I'm going to show you that so that you'll know how to do that too. So hold on, let me get it. Okay, I've got this one made. I've already got the ear wire on it and everything. But I didn't do it on video because it's with all the black beads. I used gunmetal seed beads and these black fire polish beads that I had in my stash. And it would have been really hard for y'all to see what I was doing with all those black beads. So I've got one of these leaves that came in the, not the latest Potomac bead subscription box, but the one before, the one called Nature Lover, I think was the name of it here. Yeah, Nature Lover. And these were called Check Wavy Leaf Beads. So I'm going to put one of these on the bottom of this. So I've got some 15-0 gunmetal colored beads here. I'm going to pick up 3. And then I'm going to pick up my leaf. And pick up 3 more 15-0s. I started coming out the tip of this 11-0 just like I did when I put that other drop on them. Oh, on that other one. I'm going to go on the other side of it. And now I'm just going to go around that again. I'm going to go down these 3 on this side. Back through my leaf. And up the 3 on this side. And back into that 11. That's how you put that on. Now I'm just going to take my thread and tie 3 half-inch knots like I did on that other one, and then I'll be back. Okay, so these are the ones we made today. With the 4mm amethyst Potomac crystal round beads that came in the latest Treasure Edition subscription box. That's the back of them. They're just the same on both sides. And then these are the ones that I had already all made except for the leaf at the bottom, where I used some black fire polish beads from my stash and the little leaf that we got in the last Treasure Edition box. And then these are the ones that I had showed in the finished jewelry video the other day that you all had asked, some of you all had asked me to show you how to make them. And then y'all know me. I get a little carried away sometimes. I get to making these earrings and they don't really take long at all to make. So I made a pair. These are a pair that I made with some Potomac crystal bicones in light tanzanite that I had in my stash from when I was subscribed to their box many years ago. I think is when I got these. And then I made a pair in silver, and I had these Potomac crystal bicones. Lavender opal is the color on these, and on these I put some of the little bellflowers we got in this latest box at the bottom of these. Instead of a drop, I put one of the little bellflowers down there, and I did it just like I did the drop on the ones we made today. Just went through and put a little 15-0 at the bottom there to keep it from pulling through, because you know you can never have too many shades of purple earrings. I guess that's what I was thinking, because that's what I've got here. I've got several shades of purple earrings, and then these black ones here, and then these are like teal and bronze, these that I showed in the finished jewelry video I did the other day. So I wound up with several pairs of earrings here. But I wanted to do these with the little bellflower down here to show you there's lots of different things you can put at the bottom. That it doesn't have to be a drop or a leaf. It can be just a lot of different things. Trying to get these all in the lined up here so you can see them, not off the camera. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description box below that will take you to the page on the Potomac Beads website that will tell you about the subscription boxes in case you want to check it out. As usual, thank you all so much for joining me today. I I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, hope y'all have a great day. Take care.